It's JoJo on the radio. Sam Smith is hanging out. Sam, I think you told me this story a while back, but I want you to kind of elaborate on it. And this can prove that you can pretty much do anything. This goes for everyone. Before this music thing took off, you were working at a bar.
Yes.
Like was your title a toilet cleaner or something to do with toilets?
The
right?
title was actually, I was called bar back. That's what's called, a bar back. But I had to clean the toilets every 20 minutes. And then when I wasn't cleaning toilets, I was cleaning glasses.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So in this,
it wasn't that. I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't like. Well, there's worse jobs.
Now that does the bar still stand?
I think it does. I'm not 100% sure, actually. I haven't been back there in a long time.
I wonder if there's because when famous, something happened, especially in a smaller town. Was it a smaller?
It was in London.
Oh, well, that's pretty big.
In the middle of the city.
So maybe it's not such a big deal. You clean. You would think, you've done so much. Sam Smith worked here. This toilet, I sat where, maybe, who knows? All right, Sam Smith is, can you imagine, selfies all over the toilet. Sam Smith is hanging out. Real quick, tour, do we have any kind of road dates, tour stuff? I was told no tour planned.
I've literally just come off of one. Did 100 dates last year.
But in the future for this, because the upcoming album and all that stuff.
Yes, 100%. I will tour as long as people will allow me to tour.
But even though you just got off this tour, are you exhausted or do you love the road that much?
Do you know what? I finished this tour. It was a lot of shows. There's a lot of work, but I finished with energy, which I think is a good thing. I wasn't completely exhausted. I actually shot immediately after tour. We did Dance with a Stranger video and stuff like that. So I've been going ever since. So but I love what I do.
You're a workaholic, pretty much, right?
I guess so, a little bit. Yeah. I love what I do so much. It doesn't feel like work, and also I want to strike when the iron's hot. I'm 26 years old, so I want to work very, very. No, but I want to work hard for a good few years, and then I can take a break.
I'm obsessed with the Hotel Alias. Do you have a Hotel Alias? Don't tell me what it is.
I do. And
just so everybody knows the way a Hotel Alias works. Of course, your friends just text you, but if somebody has the alias, you go to the front desk. Hey, I want to talk to insert secret name, and that's how you get the thing, right?
Yeah, I actually need to change mine because mine's quite boring, and I've had it for too long now. So
do you have an old one you can give me? Because I'm just curious, kind of where
I might as well if I change it now, I might as well just give the one I have.
Well, that's up to you, Sam.
All I know is all I'll tell you is I was a doctor.
So somebody walks up, I'd like to speak to Dr. Feelgood,
blah, blah,
whoever.
Blah, blah.
Yeah. All right, well, if you guys can figure that out, there you go. All right, Sam Smith's hanging out. Sam, overall, your fans, you got some, what are Sam Smith fans like?
Oh, do you know what? They're kind. They're very, very kind and passionate and loving. I haven't got a bad word to say.
So I guess what I'm always leading up to is, for lack of a better way to describe this, I love psycho fan encounter stories. Do you have one or two? Even I have one and a couple. I don't sing, so I'm guessing you might have.
I have a few. I was followed home once. That was a bit strange and it was very dark. What
did you decide? How do you make?
I didn't know they were following me home. This is when I first became well known, and then someone tweeted me saying, "I just followed you home."
Good God, that would give me a heart
which is
attack.
A bit strange. I've had weird ones. I had this with this woman. Was very, very strange once. She gave me a mobile phone in an envelope and asked me to meet her in a public library the next day at a certain time. And there was a map with a phone.
What?
With only her number on the phone. Very strange.
So the phone was just programmed with okay. You know who told me a very similar, Ellie Goulding told me that she was given a phone with this one program with one number. There was no map in a library though.
Maybe it was the same person.
Did you call her up and meet her?
No,
I
didn't.
You didn't.
No, I didn't. Immediately. Yeah.
Probably a
probably
good idea.
Best.
All right. You love a good bath. While you take a nice bath, Lana Del Rey playing. Is this a true?
It still happens. Yeah,
I
actually don't have a bath where I'm staying right now, which is really annoying. But I love baths.
So are there candles? I'm trying to get a visual without
There's
getting too creepy.
Candles. There's bath salts. Lana Del Rey's playing. I'm naked. It's very sexual, yeah.
Works for me. It's all I needed. All right. Sam, details on, I know you're working on an album.
Yes.
To my understanding, it's not done, but give me a progress report. What can you tell me about it?
It's far from done. I'm just writing music, and I'm releasing music when it feels right too. At the moment, I don't know if that's towards an album right now, but I'm just writing. And I'm feeling really free about it. It's really beautiful.
You seem like you're in a good place. Like there's the aura you're giving me, which I guess,
you.
I'm not some sort of you seem like you're in a happy spot.
I am at the moment. Yeah, I really am. I feel like I'm growing up a bit with some stuff, and I feel happy. I feel positive. I'm not being so hard on myself. Last year was a tough year, so I'm feeling happy.
Good. You should, because and by the way, what's not to love about where you are right now?
Yeah.
These tracks are just killing for you.
Yeah.
I get, and as far as an album goes, there is a train of thought that maybe, like, I think Will I Am told me like years ago. He said he at times he feels like we are forcing albums down a singles-driven society.
Yeah.
Is that? I mean, granted, and then he also told me at the time, man, I love Taylor Swift's album. So So where do you stand on that?
I think sometimes you have something that you want to talk about. I've had relationships in the past that I've wanted to talk about in an album form because there's so much to say about that relationship. If you've got a story to tell, then I think an album is perfect if you want to, But I also think there's no harm and there's nothing that's not credible actually about releasing little short stories in forms of singles, I love it.
My wife, you did a show for us. Of course, this is a national show, but we're based in LA here. You did a show for us a couple of years back. My wife's in the audience, and I believe it was when Too Good at Goodbyes had just came out. And she says the look on your face when you were singing Too Good at Goodbyes, I think that was the track, and the audience starts repeating, singing the lyrics back to you.
Yeah.
And I know that's happened to you in the past. It's not like the first time it happened, but she said the look on your face was like a little kid, super. I don't know if it was like just overwhelmed or what. It's got to be just a rush for them to repeat your words back to you.
I mean, I think this was the Troubadour gig.
I think the one I'm talking about it was either a Staples Center or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what? Every single time it happens, every show I do when I can really hear people singing about my song, it's the best feeling in the world. It's addictive. It's why I do what I do. It's why I keep doing what I do. I just love the fact that a song that has started with just me and a few guys in a room has turned into something that everyone's singing along to on a Friday night. It's absolutely mad.
So you picture this as the stadium is singing to you. You're picturing the earliest moment when it was just a dark room and a candle and Lana Del Rey in a bathtub. And
exactly.
It made my wife's day to see. Like she felt like she experienced something with. Maybe that's the whole.
Good. I'm so happy. So she felt like that because I felt like that too.
Good. Well, Dina says hello. So there's that.
Hello, hello, Adina. Adina.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
beautiful name.
Sam, let's do it. Dancing with a Stranger.
Yes.
Talk about this track. Talk about Normani.
This song, I wrote the song about 5 months ago. I was here in LA on a break from tour, and I was down by Venice, and we wrote this song. And Normani was coming into the studio that day for a meeting with the publisher, and I asked her to jump on it, and she jumped on it there and then.
It wasn't like a big months of setup with just hey, what do you think? Sure, boom.
It was really organic, authentic, felt right. And she smashed out the vocal there and then. It was really, really beautiful.
Why can't all songs be that, or everything in business, in life, be that easy?
I know, right?
Quick random true or false on you.
Yes.
You don't like pizza?
Yes, I don't really like pizza, no.
But if the story's true, if the time comes up and you do eat pizza, you put tuna fish on it.
Yes.
Oh, dude, whoa. What? Whoa.
I know.
I can't think of any other topping that would go with.
Do you know what? I met a few people that get that. There's a few people that get that.
So what is it that you order? If any top, like a cheese pizza comes in, your buddy's getting a cheese or pepperoni, whatever, and you just slap it on, or
would you like anchovies on your pizza?
No, I personally don't.
Okay, all right.
So it's sort of like
I don't know. I just like tuna on my pizza. But I was in like this random pizza place in Newcastle, Northern England, when I was a kid, and I hated pizza, and then my cousin got a tuna pizza, and I was like, whoa, this is incredible.
Wow.
But any fish on a pizza I like. Doesn't just have to be tuna.
There's a place in LA or California Pizza Kitchen. They'll put a shoe on the pizza pretty much. They'll put anything. So I guess they would probably do it, So anyway.
I'm going to have to find one.
I didn't think that question was going to be true, but I guess it is. It is true.
It is. I'm ashamed. I should like pizza.
You be you, Sam. Sam, I have to ask, when it comes to the writing process, and I've had some discussions about this topic with a few other people, when you write about someone that is like a specific person, or somebody did you wrong, or whatever, do you let the person know, like, hey, I'm about to release this track, look out, or what do you think, or can I have your permission, or is there any of that going on?
No. I mean, I wrote a song about a family member once, and so I asked my family member
Did it paint them in a good or bad?
Yeah, it was more of a story, like a personal story they'd gone through in their relationship that it inspired a song.
Because I guess the reason I asked that, I just, 'cause it was Alessia Cara I was talking to, and she said that she, gives a heads up to some people. And I said, well, here's my take on it. If you're dating or seeing or involved or just you're friends with a performer, writer, and something goes down, you're kind of that's fair game. You should be expected to be in a song, right?
Do you know what? Maybe I should tell them. But do you know what? Like most of them are about relationships and about exes, and I think whatever happens from the minute the relationship ends is not really any of their business.
Thank you very much. You just go.
Do you know what I mean? It's my business. It's how I'm felt.
Just so I'm clear, I don't think you need to say anything because if you're that's just fair.
No, but it's interesting. I'd love to talk to Alessia about that. That's crazy. She goes and talks to everyone. That's mad.
I think clarify it with her, but that's basically what you tell. All right. Anyway,
I find it admirable. I would love to be able to do that.
Very nice. Well, if I write a song about you, I'll let you know. All right. I'm obsessed with the paranormal. I even have a podcast called Paranormal-ish on the iHeartRadio app.
Wow.
It's awesome. I think. I'm a little biased. But I am told, true or false, you moved into this place October 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you're still there or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a 300-year-old house, and you are convinced it's haunted. And if the story is true, and I want you to elaborate, if you feel the ghosts are bothering you, you'll clap your hands and say, like, leave me alone. That's the story. I really was told that story. It's written down. Is there any truth to that?
I moved into the house in 2015. I've been there for 3.5 years, 4 years. And there is a ghost. I believe in ghosts ever since I was a kid.
So give me something that you saw, felt.
There's so much stuff that's happened. I was home alone recently, laying on my couch, and I just heard someone walking up the stairs. I was completely home alone, and there's someone walking up the stairs. I've been asleep at night, and I feel like someone's looking at me sometimes.
God, can you? What about anything like I've heard stories of you put your shoes. A buddy of mine lived in a place in Hollywood that was haunted. He'd put his shoes down. Only one at home. Put his shoes down on the bed. And he'll walk into the kitchen to get a drink, and all of a sudden his shoes are on the kitchen counter, and there's no
weird.
wind. A wind gust didn't come in and place his shoes.
I believe in it. I think there's energies that are left behind, guys.
Is there a theory on who it is in your house? Somebody
I don't
back in
think
the
it's
day?
anyone nasty. I mean, I think my house was part of like an old school, so it could be a nun.
That's even creepier.
I feel like it's a nun. But I'm going to move soon because it's just, not because of the ghost, it's just a very old house.
When you sell the house, are you required to say, hey, this place is haunted?
Oh, no.
Oh, just surprising.
What's the fun in that?
Exactly. Oh, my God. Two-part question, Sam. Kind of a good and a bad, yin and a yang here.
Fab.
Biggest crowd you've ever performed for. And the flip of that, have you ever been booed?
Do you mean crowd as in like on TV or crowd in
or as in just give me both.
Live. I mean TV
whatever.
would definitely be I think the Oscars, right? It's like 90 million, isn't it?
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And
what
then
about in person? Yeah.
In person 80,000.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that was at Wembley Stadium.
It's just
for Jingle Bell Balls.
It's just a sea of humanity, but I guess you can't.
Yeah,
you can't really.
It was a lot. The biggest crowd for me personally for my show was 60,000 in Lollapalooza, Chicago.
Wow.
Yeah, that was amazing.
What's it like to have 60,000, 80, whatever, 1,000 people in the palm of your hand, so to speak?
The more people for me live, not on TV. TV's petrifying, but on for me live, it's the more the better. The more relaxed I am. Actually, the more people there are, the more relaxed I am. For me, I struggle and get nervous when it's in front of like 20 people.
Like I was discussing this with somebody the other day. I'm similar. I don't sing, but if somebody said, "Hey, JoJo, go make a speech or say something in front of Wembley Stadium," I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, same.
Go talk to a kindergarten class.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a panic mode time.
I'm exactly the same. I'd love to go and do talks in schools and stuff, but I'm too scared. It scares me. I'm with you.
And have you ever been booed?
Never. I don't think I've ever been booed.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a very, very good thing.
All right.
I'll get booed probably one day.
God, I've heard some stories from some people like Calvin Harris told me he got booed when he was on tour with Rihanna. when he had a song with Rihanna in France years ago. Granted, they don't do that now, but he told me it was just crazy how it was the wildest story, and you wouldn't think. Sam, I want to compare something. You and I think we have something sort of in common. OCD.
Yes.
Yes. My thing is every night before I go to bed, I will have to. We have a back patio, and there's a light we can flick on and off. And every night before I go to bed, I have to check like 3 or 4 times to make sure there's not a bear in the backyard.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like, oh my God, that we like 3 years ago, a bear was in our backyard right up to the glass. A bear, a big
Oh my God.
So, and granted, it only happened once or twice
Still.
But now, ever since 3 years later, I'm obsessed with this bear. Now, I haven't seen a bear since. I saw a skunk once. Whatever.
Yeah, but still, that's scary.
Yeah, it is. Your thing is something to do with similar, but with faucets or something like that, right? Or
I mean, do you know what? I have different forms of OCD. Every time I get, when my stress levels and mental health is deteriorating, my OCD gets worse and worse and worse.
Right.
But I mean, there's things that I do every day that I have to do. I mean, every time before I sleep, I check every cupboard, every door, under the bed, like anywhere that a murderer could hide. I check.
There's nothing
before
wrong with
I
that,
sleep. Yeah. I have to, if I'm checking the door, I lock a door, I have to do it about 5-6 times to make sure the door's really locked.
Granted, that is OCD, I get it, but it's also being pretty damn smart.
Yeah.
If you're murder, you don't want that.
Yeah, but it does get exhausting sometimes.
So even if you're like, have you ever, like, you go to bed, you're like, oh, I forgot to do you get up and just click,
yeah.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, and leaving the house isn't fun for me with my OCD sometimes.
So when you left to come here today, click the whole thing.
Well, I walked out the house first, so it's not on me if something happens.
So if somebody else... Gotcha.
If I'm by myself and I leave a house, it'll take me 15 minutes to leave the house because I check plugs, I check taps, I go crazy.
Yeah, the one thing I was told was you have to make sure there's no the water running and all that stuff.
Yeah, I used to film myself. I'd film my hand. I'd film myself turn on and off every plug, put my hand under the tap around the whole house.
Wow.
So that I had proof that if the house burnt down or flooded, that I checked everything.
God, I love this. I don't know why. I think that's called being extra responsible. Sam, do you have a good time?
I had a really good time. Really did. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
You're so cool.
Normani, I love her. If you see her before I do, tell her I said hello.
I promise I will.
Congrats on the upcoming album, all this stuff.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. At the end of every interview, Sam Smith, fist bump to make it official.
Yeah.
Give me a little bam. Bam.